Most coaches and info product owners are stuck on the content hamster wheel. They're cranking out reels, firing cold DMs, and maybe throwing some money at some ads. But there's no real system, and it's all basically guesswork, and there's no real confidence that it'll actually get them to their goals. And truth is, I get it, I've worked with many coaches who built their business on randomness. So that's why in this video, I'm going to show you a 3-part ecosystem that I help my clients implement, and a very similar system that people like Iman and Hormozi, and many other 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs use to make millions and millions of dollars. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And first, let's talk about why you should even listen to me when I'm talking about this. So just for context, this is some of the results I've got for my clients. Like, here you have the 8K in pipeline in 7 days, 5K in pipeline day 1, 10.5K in pipeline in 10 days, and 10K in pipeline in 7 days. Now, we're mainly focused on email marketing. So this is also some of the metrics we've been able to get for our clients here. You can see all of them here. But the truth is even without all of these client results, this is still a system and a method that's used by all of these 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs. Ed Lawrence makes 400 grand a month. Ali Abdaal makes millions. Dan Coe makes millions. Alex Hormozi, 9-figure entrepreneur. Iman Gatti, 9-figure entrepreneur. Tom Young, 7-figure entrepreneur. All of these different people use the system that I'm going to break down to you in this video. So that's why I'm so excited to show this to all of you guys. But first, before we actually get into it, we need to establish who this is for and who this isn't for, because I don't want to waste your guys' time. And for the people who this is for, this is going to be super valuable. So this is for you if you're a high-ticket coach, mentor, info seller, community owner, and maybe if you're an agency owner, if you have a single service agency. If you're making more than 10 grand a month, if you have client results, if you're open to new perspectives and you have an email list, or you will have one in the future. If that's you, then this video is for you. Now, this isn't for you if you're under 10 grand a month, you have no client results, you're not open to new perspectives, and you don't have an email list, and you don't plan to have one very soon. If that is you, then just click off the video, because truthfully, it won't be helpful. All right, so let's dive into the first part of the system, which is your Instagram and your ads. Let me just scoot in a bit here. Now, the first part of the system, as I said, is your Instagram and your ads. Now, this is your attention generation machine. You need to be able to grab people's attention for a couple seconds, okay? You can have the best program in the world, but if you're not, getting in front of people and getting eyeballs, then you're going to be invisible and you're never going to sign anyone. You're never going to sign any clients. Now, the funny thing about this is most people already know this. You've probably been told this 100 times. That's why you're probably making a bunch of reels. You might even be throwing some money at some ads. But deep down, you know that by just uploading reels, that you're playing algorithm roulette. One day you'll get 5K views, next day you'll get 800, and suddenly your entire self-worth is tied to whether some people double tapped on your videos and how many likes you got. So the most important thing that I'm trying to get across here is do not treat Instagram as a place of conversion. Do not treat Instagram as your business, because your job from Instagram isn't to convert. Your job is to grab attention, and then move that attention to somewhere where you can actually make money, to own the attention. So let's break it down. So Instagram, as I said, is not the sales floor. What I think of Instagram as is kind of like a networking event. It's where people they first meet you, they check your vibe, and they decide whether you are worth listening to. Okay? If your page feels like some kind of, messy high school project with messy branding and some shit reels and zero clarity on what you actually do, then people will bounce. People will just leave. Okay? But if your page is optimized, the reels are high quality, they're niche deep insights, they're pain point driven content, and then it makes the viewer feel like this person gets me, then you've passed the first test. So the question is, how do you actually use Instagram in the right way? So there are two big things. Number one, of course, is reels. Stop chasing trends. Okay, create raw, pain point driven content that speaks and calls out your dream clients directly. That's all you have to do. Okay? Don't overcomplicate it. And then for the second thing, and this is the thing that most people miss, stories. Now, stories are a hidden gold, man. And if you look at the people who are really crushing it on Instagram right now, everyone uses their stories to maximum ability and maximum capability. Because stories are where people can see the human side of you, so you can build that connection with them and they like you as a human. But also, you can provide people more value and you can qualify them. You should be constantly you always posting on your stories, because that helps you stay top of mind. The people who aren't posting on their stories versus the people who are posting on their stories, there's a big difference, because the first thing that people see when they click on the Instagram app is stories. So by constantly posting on there, you're going to stay top of mind in your leads and in your clients. That's how you can get people replying, sliding up in DMs, and you can eventually start conversations with people and start a relationship with people. So use Instagram to start relationships. Use Instagram to start relationships. Use it as the very top of your ecosystem, not to close people. Okay? Now, that brings me to ads. Now, ads, how I think about it, is ads are the amplifier. Because ads will not save you, okay? People think that they can start running some ads and it will completely transform the whole business. If your offer sucks, if your content sucks, and if your Instagram page looks like it's a garage sale, then your ads will fail faster. They'll just fail faster. I've seen so many coaches think, oh, I'll start running ads and the money will magically start rolling in. But ads are not magic. Ads are simply an amplifier to what you're doing. So when should you use ads? And that's a good question. Now there are two big things. You should use ads for retargeting. So when someone watches your reel, they check your profile, they visit your site, retarget them with an ad that pushes them towards the next step. And number two is to amplify, and we already touched on this, is to amplify what's already working. If a piece of content is killing organically, it's attracting loads of high quality leads, then put some dollars behind it. Put some dollars behind it and let it reach 10 times more people. So kind of think of ads like gasoline, okay? If you pour it on a weak, shitty flame, then it's just going to fizzle out. But if you pour it on a roaring flame, then it's going to completely explode it, and it'll amplify it to the moon. So Instagram and ads are not the business. Remember, this is the most important point of this whole system, okay? I'm sure most of you are already doing a lot of stuff on Instagram, might be doing some stuff with ads. But my main message here is Instagram and ads are not business. They're not a place of conversion. They are the front door, okay? They're the way that your ideal clients will discover you, the way they'll shake your hand and kind of find out who you are. But if you treat it like a place of business, then you'll always be stuck on the hamster wheel, posting more, chasing more views, chasing more vanity metrics, feeling, wondering why your revenue feels so fragile. But when you start using them correctly, like I outlined before, then you'll be able to create a predictable growth system. You can use Instagram for attraction, for connection, and for conversation to start a relationship, and use ads for attraction plus. Now, what I mean by attraction plus here is that ads allow you, because of the targeting system that a lot of platforms have, ads allow you to reach the exact type of people that you want to be reaching. So that's why it's attraction plus, because you're able to attract the exact right type of buyers. And secondly, it's also amazing for amplification and to do more of what's already working. So that's your retention engine, okay? That's how you're firstly, in the first place, going to get attention. It gets people through the door. But attention without trust is useless. We all know this. You know this, okay? So next, we're going to talk about the place and the platform in particular where trust compounds forever. And that is YouTube. Now, I personally love YouTube. Why? Because every other platform gives you very, very short-term attention. You post today and by tomorrow, the content's going to be dead. But YouTube is a little bit different. YouTube is kind of like a content bank. A content bank. Every video that you create is an asset that works for you for years and years to come in your sales cycle. You don't just get the short-term benefits, but you get the long-term leverage. Like, just off the top of my head, one of my clients I was talking to recently was telling me how he uploaded a YouTube video a year ago and he's still booking calls from that video to this day. So that's the magic of YouTube. It's kind of like planting seeds in a garden, how I think about it. You don't get a forest overnight, but if you keep planting consistently and you keep on planting trees, flowers, whatever, then eventually you're going to be surrounded by trees and fruit and forests, etc. So it gives you that long-term leverage. And that brings me to why YouTube builds authority like nothing else. So let me actually illustrate this for you. So let's say someone watches a 60-second reel from you. Okay, they might get a good vibe from you. They might even follow you from that reel. But now, let's say someone watches a 20-minute YouTube video from you where you break down their exact pain points, then you teach them some game-changing stuff. The difference between the two of these is that one creates little to no impact. This one, after watching this, if you really provided value to the person, you've actually helped them, then they're going to view you as an authority, as a mentor, as a teacher, as a leader to them. Long form content builds authority like nothing else. It shows that you know your stuff and that you're confident to give value up front. So it shows that you're here to say you're separating yourself from the rest of the crowd. And if we go back to all of these big entrepreneurs, all of these guys have built stuff on YouTube and have built a large proportion of their wealth on YouTube. Ed Lawrence is literally focused on YouTube. That's actually his thing. He teaches people how to grow on YouTube. Iman and Hormozi is big on YouTube. Iman everything that he has done has come from YouTube. Ali Abdaal, same thing. He has like millions of subscribers on YouTube. All of these guys are really, really focused on their YouTube. And it's no surprise because it really gives you a lot of leverage. And just a little nugget here, just a bit of because I talk about psychology a lot on this channel, if you haven't seen, but just a little bit of psychology behind it. When people binge watch multiple YouTube videos, so let's say these are some YouTube videos that they're watching and they binge watch them, then you build something psychologically called a parasocial bond. It's basically where they feel like they know you personally, even if you've never spoken to them before. And that's the first step in getting a conversion, getting people to have a personal connection and a relationship with you, which is started over here in Instagram, but it's deepened over here on YouTube. And that brings me to what I'm talking about next, which is how to win on YouTube without burning out. Because I've seen so many times people try to dive into YouTube and say, I'm going to start posting 3 videos a day, 5 videos a day, or 3 videos a week, 5 videos a week. But there has to be a strategy behind it all the time. So first of all, and the first most important thing is you don't need to crank out daily videos. YouTube is not really that much about volume. It's more about quality and about consistency. So if that feels like too much, if cranking out like 3 videos a week feels too much, then just start with 1 video a week. Even if that's too much, then start with 2 videos a month. But the key behind everything that you do on YouTube is that it should achieve everything that's required in a perfect YouTube funnel. Here's what that looks like. I'm just going to draw a quick illustration here to show you. So firstly, we have top of funnel content. Quite simply, top of funnel content is basically just really broad videos with a large TAM. And what TAM means, TAM basically just means total addressable market. How much of the market that you're resonating with and you're able to address with the type of video. So ultimately the goal is just to attract as many people as possible. And then we have middle of funnel videos. Now, middle of funnel videos are videos like explainer videos, like kind of how-to videos and stuff like that. although don't upload too many of those, and mindset videos. And then what I mean by mindset videos, because people think for some reason in 2025 that people don't want to watch mindset videos. But the truth is that what the problem with everyone nowadays, and the problem with the people that you're likely selling to, is their mindset. So what I mean by mindset videos is uploading videos which involve identity selling, or videos that involve belief shifting. Because that's what holds most people back nowadays, their beliefs and the way that they view themselves. And finally, bottom of funnel videos, which can be things like very niche and raw insight videos, like really like niche down raw micro videos can build a lot of trust with people and bring the conversion. Or finally, and the most powerful one, client results. Client results are so powerful. One of my clients that I was working for a couple of months ago, he we got him like $15,000 in additional pipeline, just from 4 YouTube videos that he uploaded in the month. And guess what? $12,000 out of those $15,000 came from one case study video. One case study video generated him $12K in his pipeline. So that just shows how powerful these videos can really be. Now, if you're posting all of this different types of content, then I promise you, it will be impossible not to sign clients, because you'll be attracting people here, and you'll be starting to build trust here, helping them with their mindset, with giving them value, etc. And you'll be converting them with this, which shows people that you actually know what you're talking about and that you're different from everyone else out there. And the best part is that about kind of all of this and about YouTube in general is you can use YouTube to feed your Instagram. Okay, if you have a 20-minute YouTube video, something that a lot of people do is you can just slice it up into 10, 15 reels, post that across all of your platforms, and from there and from those reels you can direct people to your YouTube. So now what you're doing is you're getting even more people into your YouTube and into your YouTube kind of funnel, because there's a funnel within YouTube. You're getting more and more people into your YouTube funnel, so you can build even more trust with them, and you can convert even more people. So it's just kind of it's kind of like this exponential curve where this one YouTube video can generate you money from it directly, and it can help you out with your other platforms, so you can direct more people to your YouTube, and you can just grow like absolute crazy. And that brings me to my final point on YouTube, which is the real reason why YouTube is a trust machine, because most people don't really understand this. It is partly about the fact that people are watching whatever, like 20-minute videos from you, such long form, deep videos. But there's another point, and that's that the people who watch YouTube videos show up themselves to learn. When people are on Instagram or TikTok, they're just killing time. They might be on the bus, they might be in bed, they're zoning out, okay? And if you grab their attention, great, but you're still competing with another 10 bullshit videos that they're watching after you. But on YouTube, someone is literally typing into the search bar, how do I do XYZ? How do I scale my coaching business? How do I sign high ticket clients? That means that they're in a problem aware mindset, that they have a problem and they're actively looking to solve for that problem. So when they find a video and they watch it for 25 minutes and leave with a solution, then you become their go-to person. And bearing in mind of what we talked about before, these videos are assets that work for years and years and years, and people are always looking for solutions. So put 2 and 2 together, that's why YouTube is so powerful, and the longevity that YouTube has is so powerful. So now that you've got your attention from Instagram and your ads, you've built trust and authority with YouTube that's compounding over time. That's great. But none of this actually matters if you're not able to turn that trust into consistent and predictable revenue. And this is where most coaches drop the ball. They never take anything off social platforms. They build their entire business on these social media platforms. So in the next section, I'm going to show you why email, yes, boring old email, yes, I know, is the real source behind scaling predictably and effortlessly. And it has been so for all of my clients and for a lot of these guys, including one guy which isn't up here, Dan Henry, is a $35 million marketer. I recently broke down his marketing system. The core of his entire engine is his email. The rest of his whole entire ecosystem won't work unless his email marketing is working. So that's exactly what we're going to break down next. Now, you can have the best content in the world, but if you're relying on only social media to grow your business, then you're never going to be able to grow predictably. And the reason why I say that is simply because of the influence of so many external factors that you can't control. Things like the algorithm, like targeting, and just a whole bunch of other factors. You can't control them. And let's be honest, we don't own YouTube, we don't own Instagram, we don't own TikTok. They can shut down tomorrow. And your account could get shadow banned. The algorithm could tank your reach. Your targeting could just stop working. And suddenly, overnight, if that happens overnight, then your business won't exist anymore. So that's why, in my opinion, email isn't just nice to have, but it should be the core of your entire engine, as it is for so many big entrepreneurs, because they understand this. Then they understand that it's the one place that you own. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can throttle your reach. You send an email and it lands in someone's inbox if you have good deliverability. That's a level of control that social media will never give you. So how do you actually get back that control? Well, this is why email and email marketing will help you get back the control that social media doesn't give you, and essentially why it's your business's entire safety net. And in order to explain this, let me tell you a story with a client that I once worked with. So this is one of my previous clients, Eric, and I used to work for Eric's marketing agency. So essentially from day one, his client acquisition system was built on cold outreach, hundreds of nasty cold messages a day. Okay, I was involved with this. Now, there was one big leverage point that made his outreach work. And that leverage point was his Instagram. His Instagram had over 100,000 followers. It had years of posts, testimonials, proof of results. It was essentially what gave him his credibility. When a cold prospect checked out his Instagram, they saw that he's legit. But then one random Monday, and I remember specifically it was a Monday, he got logged out of his Instagram account. It was gone and he couldn't get back in. There was no explanation. There was no warning. There was just a message that said his account was disabled and he couldn't get it back. He eventually did get it back, but he could not use it for business anymore. As you can see over here, the account has just kind of become redundant now. And by the way, this is actually a real story. I'm not making this up. You can literally see our messages here. I sent him an image here of saying that I couldn't get into the account. And then after this, I never heard back from him. I mean, just imagine for a second, from your perspective, if you woke up one morning, you grabbed your phone and the one thing that you've built your entire business on is just gone. It's taken from you. It's gone. Years of posts, every testimonial, all of your audience, all of it is just vanished. And because he'd never built anything outside of Instagram, there was nothing to fall back. There was nothing to fall back on. Now, after that day, I never heard from him again. In fact, I don't even think he's running his agency anymore. It doesn't show it on his profile. But my point is that these type of things happen very, very commonly. I mean, just look at another example here from Sam Millsap. He is essentially a coach for coaches. And he posted a couple months ago about how he got shadow banned and how he had to go through all of this hassle of starting to run ads, starting to replan his whole strategy because he got shadow banned. So these type of things can happen with social media platforms. There's nothing guaranteed on these type of platforms because you don't have any type of influence over what happens on these platforms. Everything is decided by the platform, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Everything is decided by them themselves. So by having an email list, that's never going to happen to you. You're not affected because even if every single platform that you have disappears tomorrow, you still have a direct line to clients and leads, etc. Your email list stays with you to the grave. And that brings me to the next point, which is something that you guys are getting wrong about email. And essentially it's a misconception. Because most people probably what even people watching this who don't have an email list might maybe be thinking about one, thinking about having one. They think that email is just about spamming up promos, just sending a buy now button, but that's really not what email is. Email is about building relationships. And that's something that is done best with email. Email is the best platform to build relationships and install trust in your buyers at scale. That's something you cannot do with social media, because you can send one email to someone and it will land in their inbox. If you post a couple times on social media, if you post, for example, 3 times in one day, what are the chances that every single one of your followers sees each of those posts? Probably pretty low. So you're missing out on a chance to nurture people and to build trust with people. So, and if we think about it in terms of what we were talking about before, if Instagram is kind of like the entrance, or your Instagram ads is the entrance, the kind of, when you shake someone's hand, YouTube is when you start to build trust with people, you start to build a relationship with people. So keeping with this, let's say, is kind of like having a coffee conversation with someone. And then email is essentially the ongoing conversation that turns a stranger and someone who doesn't know you into a fan. I mean, think about your own behavior. How often do you buy something because you saw one Instagram post? Very, very rarely. I doubt many of you guys see one Instagram post and buy something. You'll check reviews, you'll check the website, etc. But how often do you buy something from someone after hearing from them 10, 15, 20 times, where every single message feels like it was written just for you? You've watched hours of their content, you've read their reels, you've watched their YouTube videos, and they've helped you so much that eventually you just gravitate towards them and buying just becomes the next step. And this is really one of the biggest advantages of email, and that it solves something that social media doesn't have. And something that social media doesn't have is predictability. Social media is unpredictable. Some weeks you're going to go viral, and some weeks you're going to be invisible. You're at the mercy of an algorithm. Your entire business is built on whether an algorithm likes you or not. But emails, where your revenue actually becomes predictable. And this is something that nothing else can give you. If you have a list of 10,000 people, for example, and your average open rates are 40%, and you have click rates of 5%, okay, then you can literally forecast your revenue. You can literally forecast how many people are going to go through to the next step. It gives you this insane amount of predictability. And that's where scaling literally becomes like this fun game, because you're not guessing. You're literally running up numbers. You know exactly what's going to happen. And that's why all of these entrepreneurs that I'm talking about here, all of these guys, Hormozi, Gatsy, Ed Lawrence, they have an email list. They all have massive lists that they're constantly sending out emails to, because they know it's their most valuable asset. And that brings me to our next point. Scroll down a little bit here, which is that email allows you to leverage your authority. So here's the thing about long form content. It makes people trust you, okay? Let's say this is a YouTube video. You will build trust from this. You will build trust. But the problem is that you might be uploading one YouTube video a week, and someone might watch a 20-minute YouTube video from you one week, and then they're going to go back into distraction land. What email allows you to do is it allows you to stay top of mind like nothing else. It's kind of on the same level as Instagram stories. It allows you to pull them out of the noise that they're in and their life and build them back into your world and into your ecosystem. They might watch your video once, but if they see your name in their inbox every single day, then over time, that repetition is going to cement your authority in their brain. It helps you stay top of mind, kind of like Instagram stories, and pretty much on the same level as Instagram stories. And when you show up every time with more insights, more value, more everything, then you're literally going to install trust in your buyers. Like, it's going to be impossible to not build trust with them. So when eventually in the future, or whether it be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, when they're ready to invest, they're going to go for you because you are the coach. Now, I've done a lot of talking, so how about we do some rough numbers? So, because I always find that this is the best way to explain, especially to all my clients, when I talk about these type of things. So let's say on Instagram, you're getting like 3,000 views, okay? And with some super, and let's say you're only uploading some super niched insights. So because of that, you get 200 comments. That turns into 5 sales calls, 3 are qualified, and 1 is closed from like a 5K program, something like that. All right. So that's great from one reel. And yeah, that is great from one reel, to be honest. A 60-second reel, 30-second reel, that's amazing. But the issue is that you're at the mercy of an algorithm. Now, there's no guarantee that you'll, number one, continue to get the reach that you're getting. You'll continue to get 3,000 views every single time. Number two, that you'll continue to get showed to actual qualified people. So there's no guarantee that that your videos will be targeted to the exact type of people that you want to buy from you. And then the third thing is there's no guarantee that the people who see your reel are going to be warm. But email is different. Email, let's say you have a list of just like 10,000 people. All right. Let's say you have a list of 10,000 people. If you have 30% open rates, that's 3,000 people who open your email. And let's say that has a 2.5% click-through rate, which is very, very low, to be honest. For our clients, if we go back up here, for our clients, 19%, 41%, 22%, 28%, 8%. So 2.5%, super, super low, just to be conservative. So let's say 2.5%, that's about what? 2.5% of 3,000. 75. So 75 people go through to the next step. And let's say that for some reason, only 50% of the people that go through to the next step actually take it. Regardless, well, that's like 37.5. That's like 7 to 8 times more people that actually took action. That's like a 7x, 8x. But that's not even the best part. Not only are you getting more people in, that's not the best part. The best part is that these people who are going to be hopping on, they're going to be pre-qualified. They're going to be, number 2, pre-sold. And they're going to be 3, pre-warmed. Because they've been nurtured in your ecosystem. So closing will be 10 times easier. Now, if that itself doesn't do the talking for you, then to be honest, I don't know what will, because that's just a perfect, accurate representation of why it's so important to have an email list and to have something on another platform like email, like a community, etc. So here's how I want you to start thinking about email, okay? Because at the end of the day, firstly, how you view it has a lot of influence over the results that you get from it. So social media here is what's going to get the first couple seconds of attention. It's going to get the first couple seconds of attention, and it's going to attract people. YouTube will build some trust with people. Email will allow you to maximize nurture potential. Maximize nurture potential. Essentially, what I mean by nurture potential is that it allows you to direct people to all different parts of your ecosystem. With one email, you can direct people here, somewhere else. So you can maximize the amount that you're building trust with people and the amount of that you're nurturing people, because with one email, you can direct people to all parts of your ecosystem. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to take the relationship that you have with people even deeper, because it shows that you actually care. You want them to get this value. In 5 years' time, when you have an asset of 10,000 people on an email list, you will thank that you did that 5 years ago, that you started building it, because that list becomes your guarantee. You can run a promo and make 5 figures in a weekend because of a 10,000 person email list. You can take a break from content creation without killing your pipeline because you have an email list. It's what gives you leverage in expanding your business. And leverage is one thing that most coaches and info sellers do not have. It's a thing that allows you to go from a random coach that's hoping to get clients to a business owner that's running a predictable and systematic system. So here is where we're at with this. Instagram, TikTok ads, whatever, that's what gets the attention. YouTube turns that attention into trust and authority, and email turns that trust into revenue. This is the system I use for my clients, and it's the system that's used by all of these entrepreneurs. And that is the entire system literally used by all of those 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs. So you can just copy it for yourself. You only really need those 3 things: a way to get attention, like Instagram ads, TikTok, a way to turn that attention into trust with YouTube, or maybe even a podcast, and a way to own the attention with email, community, etc. Now, if you want someone to build the backbone of this system for you, which is your email marketing, and the reason why it's the backbone is why I explained all of that previously. If you want someone to build that out for you, A to Z, completely 100% done for you, then there's a link down below to work with me where this is what we do for all of our clients. But if you're not ready for that yet, then just click this video next.